Alfie is a WOR race winner.
Jensen makes it 5 in a row.
Danny Berejnay wins on debut.
Shinaka returns to winning ways in WOR.
Season 12 sees a new man. It's Shadow. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jensen is the new king of PlayStation.
From the back row of the grid, against all odds, Nicholas Longy wins the title.
Goes past the safety car.
What has gone on here?
Bowman spins,
Stunning move from the Spaniard.
He's taken out Rambo. Here comes Longy.
we're going 4 ways down to turn 1.
Oh, he's taking him out.
The captain riders complete.
Sonic to the inside.
Shadow wins the Brazil. Absolutely sensational.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to WOR. We are here tonight for season number 13. It's round number 9 of the championship as we take in the Spanish Grand Prix from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. My name is James Head. Good to be back. It has been a week since I've been in the commentary box, not only here in WOR, but in general. And yes, I've been struck down with COVID in that past week. But I am here tonight to take you through the action as a solo commentator. Unfortunately, tonight, Mr. Carmenton, as you can see, is greyed out on the right-hand side of me. He is not going to be alongside me in the commentary box. Now there is a talk with Logan. Logan is not available either tonight as well. But what we should see is some really good action, of course, out on track tonight. We currently have 15 drivers, I think, currently in the lobby. And we are waiting for more drivers to join as we go along. I have had to go in, literally, a last minute host for the lobby as well. So, if I'm looking over that side of my room, you will probably realise that is the case. Driver standings coming into tonight as well. I have not actually put them in on my OBS. That's the only thing I haven't managed to put in my OBS. So, bear with me for a second while I have a look at the standings coming into tonight. I will have to read them just from the foreground of shot here. They are loading now on my screen. So hopefully we will be able to see the drivers' standings very soon. Or I will certainly be able to see the drivers' standings very soon if I can find where they are. That is the PC roster. Do not want that. We're not commentating on Yana Watme or anything here tonight, unfortunately. PS Tier 1, that is exactly what we want. And there's Namaya currently out on top after what was, I've got to say, a very thrilling Italian Grand Prix, of course, last week. Namaya leads the way on 101 points. Rowan there in second on 91. His first points haul for 4 races in, obviously not competing in Britain, Belgium or Canada. Back there in Italy and back with 5th position last time out. Jensen then third, again, unlucky I think in Italy in terms of his performance. He certainly got back up there in terms of the best. 73 points currently to his name. Caraflides in 4th on 71. Jerry there in 5th on 51. Krypton in 6th on 46. Arocca 7th on 42. Tom in 8th on 36. Steph in 9th on 34. And then Danny in 10th there on 30 points. And then running down the field, of course, Asicom won the race on, not his debut actually, as we thought we were. It was his second race, of course, in terms of the championship standings. And his first, of course, has been a reserve. And his first picking up a win, of course, last time out in Italy. If you weren't here last week, just to run you through, Jerry was second and Amaya was third in terms of that race there as well. Construct the standings before we get going as well. We might be running a little bit behind schedule, but I don't matter. It doesn't matter to me anyways. it is Red Bull out on top on 111 points, with Aston Martin in second on 101, McLaren in third on 86, Ferrari in fourth on 78, then Mercedes in fifth on 51, Haas in sixth on 46, Alpine in seventh on 42, Alfa Romeo in eighth on 41, Williams in ninth on 25, and because they have not had both full-time drivers, I should say, this season, AlphaTauri has scored 0 points right down at the back end of the field, with Nathan Clark, of course, and Rowan being the two drivers there for the AlphaTauri team. Let us have a look then, while we wait for the rest of the driver lineup to join the track map. 4.6 kilometres, then 2.9 miles, and 16 turns. Waiting our drivers out on track, with, of course, the 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight in towards turn number 1, and then, of course, one down the straight in towards the left-hander of turn number 10, of course, which has now been reprofiled. This is an old track map, I think. We have not got, no longer, the left-hander of turn number 10. I think that is now turn 10, 11, 12, and then towards the chicane 13, 14, and then the right-hander of turn 15. I might be mistaken on that, but we do have, I think, still 15 or 16 corners for the Spanish Grand Prix here, of course, tonight. Blade F1 there in the chat, looking through. Good evening to you, my friend. Hopefully you are doing well. Only one person tuning in, which is not that great. Of course, we want more people to tune in, but you can keep me company at least for the next hour and a half or so. As I say, 17 drivers about to do battle around, of course, the track. We are just waiting on a couple to join. Danny and Akila, I think we are waiting, and a Rocker as well, I think, are expecting invites. So Aroka, Danny, and Akila, I think, are the ones that we are going to be waiting on. In fact, Danny is Akila, so I don't know what am I even saying there, to be honest. Aroka, Jake Marsh is already in, and also we are waiting on somebody else. We're waiting on one more person. I think it's a Rocker that we're waiting on, potentially, in terms of the lobby. In fact, they're all here. Tim, Akila, and Rocker are in, so I think we've got 19 drivers potentially here out on track tonight, which is quite good. We'll just let that track map run down through while we wait, of course, for the drivers to ready up. Tom saying as well, or Chazoo Tom there in the Discord, saying apparently esports is a bit exciting. We might not get many viewers. Yeah, we might not get many viewers indeed. Unfortunately, that is the downside of streaming on a Friday night, especially when there's F1 esports going on right at this moment in time. But who needs F1 esports when you've got me and when you've got, of course, these guys, of course, out on track in terms of PlayStation, in terms of Tier 1 action. As I will show you now on my screen, there is my water bottle coming into tonight. I've only got about quarter full to last me about an hour and a half or so. Hopefully it'll last me. But there we go. I will have to obviously parch myself in terms of getting further drinks here tonight. But yeah, for anybody that is tuning in and doesn't want to hear my... Oh, God. Doesn't want to hear my life stories, I drop my... water bottle top on the ground there, which is what I was picking up, and that's why I just escaped from your view for a second. Yeah, I have had COVID in the last week. It has gone through my household, certainly, as well. I feel fortunate because I've tested negative both yesterday and today. Did a test there about an hour ago, and obviously feeling a bit better, and obviously going to try and test this voice out, which is still not 100%, so hopefully the voice will be okay. If it is not, then I apologise in a total advance, because there's not really much I can do about it. It is literally what's been given to me over the past week or so. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, last week, people won't know this, I was actually commentating nearly getting ill, and that's where my COVID symptoms started to develop after commentary. So, and then I tested positive the day after. It was an absolute nightmare, and of course, keep an eye on everyone. If you are, of course, got any flu symptoms, any cold symptoms, get a test. Get a test. And that is from the horse's mouth itself in terms of me. We'll take you, though, into... That's the wrong thing. We'll take you into the lobby and actually see what's going on in the lobby. 19 drivers, of course, out on track. It is 33 laps worth of racing. Short qualifying, of course, here with 18 minutes worth of qualifying. And the drivers, I think, now being instructed to ready up, which is good. Yeah, I think we are waiting on maybe Nathan Clark to join. Now, Mr. Nathan Clark, I think, is going to be racing here tonight. He's in the AlphaTauri. Jerry's going to be alongside him in the AlphaTauri tonight as well. In fact, I'll actually take you through the driver lineup. I've got it in front of me right here. Mercedes have got Jake Marsh and Krypton. Red Bull have got Rowan and Harry. Ferrari have got Jensen and Asacom. Alpine have got Steph and Danny, which is Aquila. McLaren represented by Smalley and Miltos, or Karafalidis to you and me. Alfa Romeo with Frankie and Surface. AlphaTauri with Jerry and Nathan Clark. Aston Martin have been filled up, as you can see on your screen, by Kaya, and there was another one in the lobby, I believe. Yeah, Tim is the other man in LFR. Tim joining the Aston Martin team for tonight. Arocco and Tom Roberts there in the Haas, and Lauren Bartlett and Mars Kramer are supposed to be competing, of course, in the Williams as well. They are all here. We are waiting on Nathan Clark tonight. Apparently he can't drive, which means I can certainly give you guys in the chat the go-ahead to go. Of course, if you are a driver, you can ready up right now. Yeah, we can go and ready up, and that has been given now, the instruction to go. And obviously I've got the stream up and everything, so we should be getting going very soon indeed. And yes, it has just been given the go-ahead to go, which is really good. Let me know in the comment section who you are expecting to obviously thrive in terms of the action here out on track tonight. Obviously, I will have my favourites as we go through tonight as well. I'm just going to turn a couple of things off in the background, because I've just realised I've got a timer running and my camera running there as well. But there we go, we are about to get going. 19 drivers, of course, out on track. My first commentary actually around here on Spain on the new calendar. On the new game, I should say. This is my first experience of Spain on the new game. Very good track, of course. Normally a commentator's favourite. Certainly one of my favourite tracks to commentate on here in Spain. And not many drivers like this track, to be honest. If you are one of those drivers that are tuning in and hate this track, I won't forgive you, because honestly, it is one of the hardest tracks, I think, on the F1 game. I know Aiden, I was speaking to him midweek for another league, and he was saying about Spain, the track, the trials and tribulations. He mentioned it, of course, at the end of the stream last week as well. And that's one of his favourite tracks. And it's unfortunate that he's obviously at the wedding of his sister, which is going to be taking place, I think, tomorrow. So good luck with that. Hopefully everything goes well, and happy nuptials to the happy couple. Of course, it is Mr. Comments. This is his sister that is getting married tomorrow. That is why he is not here. And that is why Mr. Logan is not here either. I think he has got work commitments. That is why he is not here tonight. As you can tell, my coughs will probably come and go as the night goes on, but I don't mind. We are going to be getting going here for 18 minutes worth of qualifying. And it's that man there, or one of the first men out on track, will be Jensen. I think he's going to be the third or fourth potentially out on track. And the first man out on track, I think, is going to be one of the Hasses. And it's Chazoo Tom that is the first man out on track. Normally quite quick around here. I certainly saw, I think it was PSGL. No, PSGL didn't do Spain, in fact, this season. But Tom has had experience in Spain in the past. I've commentated around in Spain, and he has won around here before as well. Of course, season 12, last season in terms of the standings. I'll get them up quickly, just to run you through who might have won last season. I need to go on the Discord and find this out. Last season, season 12, went to... I'll just have a look at the standings last season. Was it Jensen by any chance in Spain? Oh, they didn't do Spain last season. So we have to go back into the record books even further. Season 11, perhaps, in terms of the racing action in WOR. Of course, it is relatively new PlayStation in WOR, but I can see Tom now coming through the final couple of corners. And he is now coming through the final couple of corners. He is not the first man out on track. I think that's going to be Rowan coming through the final corner. Indeed is the VSR man, of course, former championship leader, coming this season. Down in towards turn 1. We'll turn the timing tower off on the left-hand side, just so you can see the full rundown in this lap on board with Rowan. To the right-hander of turn number 1, to the left-hander of turn number 2, just gets caught on that curb slightly. Now to the right-hander of turn number 3. Again, really snapping the oversteer coming out of turn number 3 into the right hand of 4. 21.8 through the first sector, not too bad at all from Warren as he now comes through the right hand of turn number 4, down the hill in towards turn number 5, and then in towards what I like to call the trickiest section on the track, this real chicane, this turn 7 and 8, 9 complex, very difficult, misses the cut on the left hand side, nicely done from Rowan there, now up the hill in towards the right hand of turn number 9, flying through there, Rowan coming through turn number 9, you can take that flat out if you get the angle right. Rolling through the middle sector at 50.9. You can see the reprofile turn number 10. And now coming in towards the left hand of turn number 11. Through the right hand then of turn number 12. This track, of course, taking under around about a minute and 15, I think, to get around in terms of lap times around here. Potentially a little bit quicker than that. Rowan made a mistake there coming in towards the chicane of turns 14 and 15. Now out of 16. On the run towards the line, and we're not too far off already, the 115. So 116.5 looked a bit scrappy, to be honest. I think Tom might go quicker than him. In fact, goes 2 tenths slower. So Rowan out on top, Tom there in second. Lars Kramer currently in third position. As to come now into third, Lars is on the lap as well. Jensen is just finished one. He's down there in fifth position, 17.3. Must have made a mistake, obviously, on that lap. LFR Tim now coming through the middle sector as well. But it's Rowan out on top, Harry there in second, Tom there in third, Red Bulls currently first and second out on track so far in terms of the racing here tonight. Still down above with LFR Tim, now coming in towards the right-hander of turn number 13. Then towards the chicane of turns 14 and 15. Of course, two different layouts, of course, to the track as he comes back in the pit lane. In fact, Tim obviously not happy with that lap at all. Steph is getting a little bit of a barging match, I think, from one of the Alpha Tower, from the Alfa Romeos, and he's just spun, just for good effect as well. Don't think he made contact there with the Alfa Romeo. I think it was more probably the Alfa Romeo putting him off. He was on a lap, I think, Steph there on the run up towards turn number 5. So Steph obviously spinning there the SXT man as Darren Smith goes second. Of course, I think he's one of the new faces too this season in WOR. We've had many new faces. I can't probably keep up with the majority of the drivers here. Dara is certainly one of the best Irishmen, certainly in WOR Tier 1. Probably the best fact I can find about him. But he's there in second. He does like Spain. He has done well around here before in leagues I've commentated on. I think he's finished third around here in TML in the past. And Dara Smith currently there in second. But Rowan out on top currently, in terms of the championship picture, Rowan obviously out on top. And Namaya, I have just realised, is not here tonight. So Namaya not here tonight, which means Rowan has got a big chance of picking up a potential championship lead for him. WR Lars Kramer in 11th there. Aquila is on a lap. He's a 10th and a half up in the middle sector. Purple in that middle sector, but obviously I think he's down on the time compared to what has been set in other races. It's been now come in towards the right-hander of turn 14, or right-hander of turn 13, 14, 15, and then into the pit lane, I think, for Aquila. Yeah, he comes in the pit lane, and Spaniard, the homeboy hero, going to try and be out on top, of course, out on track there in 17. Speaking of out on track, Tim is out on lap as well, currently there in 18th position. I'm just going to put my glasses back on. I will be literally a few seconds. That was smooth. That was very smooth. As Tim now comes down in towards the left-hander of turn number 10. And out on top, Rowan currently down in second. Harry there in third, with Tom there in fourth. With Jerry there currently in fifth. And quite a few drivers actually setting a 16.7. About a tenth of a second covering second to 8. So that is all the way from Dara to Krypton at this point. Tim now coming through the right-hander. Of course, there's been 2 patch updates this week. If drivers or people who's tuning into the chat didn't know, we have 2 patches, and that means, brilliantly, that all the spectating mode is now working once again, because we've had an outlap glitch. Oh, and Tim is just about being put up by his teammate. Does his teammate know that he's there? That was really badly done. If that was a bit of slipstream effect, that was very badly done. Coming through the first sector though, still with Tim, is Aston Martin teammate, of course, being Kaya in the for the Talent Factory team. Kaya, of course, did quite well last night in TML, I believe. I didn't commentate on that one last night. Rolling out on top, Dara in second, Harry there in third. Tim probably will back off this lap, I think, in there. Luisi fan there in the chat saying, is this game on sale? I don't know if this game is on sale. I know it was a couple of weeks ago in the PlayStation Summer Sale. I will have a look, though, and price it up on the PlayStation Store. Of course, where Luisi might live, it might be in euros. It's $41.99 here in pounds. If you do want to buy it, whatever that is in euros. Of course, we've been taking quite a hit in terms of the euros in recent times. Tim, though, on the run to the line, goes 15th. But yeah, it is actually on sale. Offer ends 26th of October, so you've got 12 days to get the game. Currently £28 off on F1 22. So if you do want to buy F1 22, or if you've already got it and I'm just boring you with the fact that it is actually on sale, then who cares? Who cares really? Oh, it's Harry! Spins coming to the right-hander there of turn number 8. There's 800 up as well on the lap from the Red Bull man. Potentially going to go quickest. Oh, and the AlphaTauri just about getting defeated. In fact, there was contact there. I thought there might have been. Jerry makes contact there with Harry. Harry's trying to be let through. He has got a lot, though, of lag on his end, unfortunately. Ron, by the way, the other Red Bull's gone out on top. Dara there in second, Harry there in third. It was looking quite good up until that point. Zasacum now goes second. Last week's race winner in Italy. At his home track, of course, in Monza. Jensen now goes second with 16.6, but not too bad. Rolling out on top, Jensen there in second. Asacum there currently in third. I apologise, my commentary voice still not there fully, but there we are. Luisi saying, yeah, it is, and I'm surprised. Jeffrey also saying, on PS4 it's 40% off here at least. I don't know if it's the case anywhere else. Yeah, it is 40% off here on PS4 and PS5, in fact, it says. I'm on the PlayStation Store at the minute, and obviously not while I'm commentating on this. Surface, by the way, is a 10.5 up in the middle sector. But yeah, apparently it says PS5 as well, so it might be 40%. 40% off on the PS5. Oh, this is going to be a real struggle, I think, in terms of commentary tonight. Rolling out on top, Jensen second. Asacum there in third. Surface now to the line, he goes second. 16.4. That's more like it in terms of the lap times we should be seeing around here. Maybe even sneaking into 15.9s potentially by the end of this session. Who knows? Rolling out on top, Surface second. Jensen there in third. While obviously we see drivers on a lap, I'm not sure if Frankie is perhaps on that. The Alfa Romeo man now coming to the left-hander of turn number 7 and 8. Yeah, and judged by his middle sector, he's probably not on a lap at this point, the Talent Factory man. But yeah, rolling out on top, Surface there in second, Jensen currently in third, and Frankie, yeah, 5.2 seconds down in the middle sector. Not on a lap. Rocker is, though. 21.9 through the first sector, the FER man. Going to try and be up there as well. Jeffrey also saying in the chat, sort of my in-house co-op adventure today after getting the demo on PS4 and using the PC as other end now with crossplay thing. Yes, and obviously there is going to be an announcement. Oh, there's a spinner in the background there. I'm not sure who that was. A rocker though was purple in the middle sector. There will be an announcement coming up for crossplay, I'm sure, in the coming weeks with regards to WOR. I've certainly been filled in for tonight's live stream with some very juicy details as to Season 14 and to how crossplay might have an impact on that. I can't say anything more, otherwise I'd probably be shot at gunpoint if I did. Rolling out on top though, Surface there in second, Jensen third. Steph, by the way, went fifth as well with a 16.9. Shazoo Tom on a lap as well, 16.7 in the Haas. Hopefully going to be up there in terms of his performances. He's normally quite quick around here. Now comes to the right-hander of turn number 3. And he's 500 up in the first second. 21.9 through the first second there from Tom. Right on the limit. We're now turn number 4. Jake Marsh has left the session. Hopefully he can join back in. Oh, as Tom needed is coming out of turn number 5. And that is him going to be done in terms of that lap time, certainly. with 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. I'm going to quickly have a bit of a cough and a splutter in the background. I'll be back with you maybe in about 30 seconds. Oh, there we go. I'm back. Hopefully feeling a little bit better. It is, as I say, my first commentary back from having COVID. And, yeah, not a nice feeling, first and foremost. So that is why, if you hear me cough, if you hear me splutter, 4. And looking quite good so far on this lap is Asicom, now coming in toward the left-hander of turn number 5. Apologies if we lost the stream there slightly. Sadly my fault, but Asicom now coming into the left-hander of turn number 7. And towards the right-hander now, turn number 9. Very high revs, by the way. I apologise if anybody has high rev fever, but as to come through the middle sector. 10.5 up in the middle sector, so not too bad. Rowan goes quicker still, 16.1. That is not going to be beaten, I think, now in terms of the racing in qualifying. But Asicom looking to try and put it in towards second. He has got 2 tenths to find in terms of his lap time, but very high revs coming through the right-handers of 14 and 15 into the right-hander now of turn number 16 on to run towards the line with Asicom. I think he might go second here. He does. 16.3 ahead of Surface by a tenth of a second. Rowan though, that man there out on top. Asicom in second, Surface in third. I do apologise if we did miss both of Rowan's laps. Swear I'm trying to run a ball with drivers who are towards the top end of the field. Rocco's up in the first sector, 21.9. He's up there in the first sector. Lime Violet is on the lap as well, coming in toward the final couple of corners. I think it's 51.4 in the middle sector from Lime Violet. On the run towards the line. And he does improve. 200's improvement. Doesn't improve his position though. And he stays behind Lars Kramer, who's on a lap, 10th up in the first sector. A Rocker goes for a spin. Spinella from the Hatsman coming to the left-hand with turn number 10. And not the best way to obviously run on board a lap with a Rocker, but he's there in 14th. Not doing too badly there at all in this quality. Jeffrey also saying in the chat, surprised to hear the game audio quality stuttering and stuff this bad. They expect the game to be optimised well for the console. It is. It might be because I'm obviously streaming on PS4. I know there's a lot of audio stuttering, and it's happened. If you've been a lover of Formula 1 like I have, and these game series, I'll be open and honest, these audio stuttering's been happening maybe since it actually got onto the PS4 game. I don't think I can recall a PS4 game of version of F1 22 that has had so many issues in terms of the F1 game series since coming on to new gen consoles. So first came out PS4 I think 2015. That is how long I've been in the league racing mantra. But yeah, F1 2015 was the first one. I've still got all the game copies as well on the in my drawer on the left hand side of me. And every single game has had audio stuttering issues since it has become on the Codemasters games. And I think it's because mainly the game engine that they use is out of date, and that I've heard that they're going to be potentially running on the Unity engine going forward. Now, if you're obviously not as techie savvy as me, probably don't know what a Unity engine is. Look it up on Google. Probably the best thing to do. Look it up on Google. Krypton's on the lap, by the way. He's now coming through the right-hander of turn number 4. 900's up through the first sector. 21.9 in the first sector. But yeah, apologies if we do have any audio quality. As I say, it's not really my issue. I've tried to optimise it as best as I can through OBS. But yeah, sometimes you just have to stick with it. Krypton now coming through the right-hander of turn number 8. And toward the right-hander now of turn number 9. And Krypton looking not too bad on this lap. Nearly, just under a minute to go in qualifying. Rowan Adams up, Asicom second, Surface in third, Stefan fourth. 51 flat in the middle sector from Krypton. More like it, I think, in the middle sector from him. But again, very high revs. I think that is obviously to try and decipher, because the driver's obviously going to be suffering the same audio issues as you guys are at home as well with the stream, and it's even worse for the drivers, so that's why they're having to run very high revs. There is a high rev glitch as well, I think, in this game. Krypton, by the way, on the run to the line, goes 7th. Not a bad lap there at all. The drivers are joining the session once again. Miles Kramer is back in. Jensen's middle sector. Oh, he's 7,000 down in the first sector. Surface 200's up. Asacum now on the run towards the line. Doesn't improve. I got excited there, thinking it was a 2.5 tenths improvement. Rowan out on top. Asacum in second. Surface there in third. Jensen, you're on board with season 12 champion. Now coming through the right-hand return, number 15. And then to the right-hand return, 16. And Jensen goes round in qualifying. Hopefully that irons it out in terms of his performances in the race. Reverses back across the pit wall. And he's back into the pit lanes. That is unfortunate. Season 12 champion Jensen down in 7th. Jerry is not on a lap. He's run out of fuel, I think. Krypton not on a lap. Jake Marsh has just started one. We'll go on board the leaders then. Rowan through the middle sector. Oh, 6,000's down in the middle sector. Mr. Consistent himself. Now coming through the left-hand return, number 11. Then through the right-hand return, number 12. And then in towards the final bit of this track. Of course, they don't run on the MotoGP layer around here in the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. It is the former Grand Prix track. The full Grand Prix track. Of course, they used to run without the chicane in the past. Rowan on the run to the line, though. 16.1 goes even quicker. Asacum, 900's down in the middle sector. What can the Ferrari man do? There's barely any improvements. Saying that, though, Tom's just gone second. 16.2. Not a bad lap there at all from the Shazoo man. Asacum now on the run to the line. Barely improves, and that is the end of the session because Krypton's retired out on track there as well. Third for Asacum. Did improve by 7 thousandths of a second. We'll try and bring you any updates, of course, at the end of that qualifying session. We'll run you through the full grid order now, though, and it is Rowan out on top from Tom there in second. Asacum in third, 2 tenths per second, not too bad to be honest around a track like this. Thought it would have been a little bit closer than that though. Surface there in fourth with Steph in fifth, Dara there in sixth, Harry there in seventh. Of course, he's got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision that he had with Jerry, so that means Jerry is going to be up ahead of him, along with Carafalides, Jensen, Jerry, Krypton, and Jake Marsh are all going to be above Harry, so that means Harry's going to start 12th. They'll get bumped up in position. Tim there in 13th, Frankie in 14th, Aroka 15th, Aquila in 16th, Lars Kramer 17th. Top 18 separated by a second with Ryan Bartlett and then Kaya there in 19th. There was no formation up. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back with you in 30 seconds. You nearly got another trailer intro there, goodness me. Welcome back everyone to WOR. We are here tonight for Season 13, round number 8 of the, round number 9 I should say, of the Championship. Spanish Grand Prix awaits, 20 seconds to go. Let me know in the comment section who you're predicting or who you're supporting in the comment section. Let me know because I think it is going to be quite a good race here in Spain tonight. Hopefully no early safety cars. Hopefully it is going to be really good action out on track. You guys have got the best seat in the house. Quite literally, and you guys are actually not tuning in to F1 Esports, which is really good, and I commend you for that fully. As now we're about to get going, the 5 red lights about to go on here in Spain. Round 9 of the championship about to begin, and it is already lights out and away we go, and Rowan gets a very good start. Tom alongside him though has got the better start, I think, on the run down and towards turn number 1. The right-hander of turn number 1 around a 500-metre run. In towards turn number 1, I think Tom will have the inside line and hold the lead. Tom through and he's into the lead. Rowan there in second, Surface there in third. Asacum and Steph side by side now coming through turn number 3. There's a spinner in the background. Aquila has gone round in the background. Kai, by the way, is the only one on a sort of soft compound tyre early on, as Asicum just has to try and defend there off Steph, who defends there for fourth. Jerry now down the inside of Karafalidis in the midfield. 6th, 7th position, now flying through turn number 4, on the run down in towards Sayat corner, turn number 5, Red Bull in the background of Harry spinning slightly, gets the car back going again in the right direction, he's down there in 18, but Jerry now back to the inside of Karafalidis, surely going to dive that down the inside line. Lovely move by Jerry, he's into 6th, Karafalidis caught in a bit of a wash there, and Darren now into 8th, he's down in 8th position early, and Jensen now losing out in terms of positions as well. He's now side by side with Krypton in towards the left-hand with turn number 10. Tom out on top, Rowan in 2nd, Surfers in 3rd. Really good start apart from that spin and that collision. Those just caused absolute chaos. Jensen getting caught on Krypton, I think, there. Krypton was the one that got caught up. It was Frankie, in fact, that has to go across the grass there. So Frankie, in fact, the one that is down at the back of the field now. Kai has made up so many positions as a result of that as well. And now Frankie nearly goes for a spin there as well. And Jensen, season 12 champion, already in the doldrums, already down the back of the field at the end of lap 1. Tom leads the way from Rowan in 2nd, Surface in 3rd, Steph in 4th, Asicum in 5th. We'll have a look at the position changes as we go along. Kaya, I mean, what is he on? He's on his Weetabix this morning. He's through and he's into 9th position. And he's getting 10 positions off the start. And that might be another one gain. That might be 2 more gain because Jerry's been caught up there by Asicum. He has to reset to track. He's got damage on the car. Asicum doesn't, luckily, I don't think. But Jerry does. Right side end plate damage on the car. And the ghosting system, again, this has been a real coy factor in terms of the racing here. The ghosting system does fail on this game. Unfortunately for Jerry, wrong place, wrong time. Right side and plate damage on the car as Asicum obviously spun. And I think he's just made another mistake there. Coming in towards the left-hander of turn number 7. And he must have damage as well because Frankie's just gone through and he's through and he's into 15th. Mad start to this race. Kai once again on the back of Davin. Davin down the inside line as we run on board with him. Beautiful move by Kai. He's on that set of soft compound tyres, so obviously going to be making up positions as he goes along in this race. Tom though out on top, Rowan in 2nd, Steph there in 3rd. Surface in 3rd, and then Steph there in 4th with Karafalidis in 5th. And now Karafalidis has got yet another man on the back. And that is the TF man of Kaya, the Talent Factory team, of course. Are going to be liking his performance so far. This is going to be another position gain. I think I make that 14 position gains potentially in 2 laps. Kaya runs down towards turn 1 and sticks in behind Karafalidis for now. And probably thinking it's probably the best thing to do. You don't want to be right on board. You don't want to be obviously going down the move. As soon as I say that though, Kaya spins, coming through turn number 3. So easy to lose the car coming through turn number 3. And Kaya on that sort of soft compounded tyres. From literal hero to 0 in 3 laps. Tom out on top from Rowan in 2nd, and the front 2 beginning to pull away now from Surface there in 3rd, Steph there in 4th. Karafalidis now can breathe easy. He's not got Kaya on the back of him anymore. So easy, by the way, to step out on that the overspeed coming out of turn number 3. So easy to step the car out. I've seen that done plenty of times, not only on this game but on other games as well. And unfortunately for Kaya, down in 17th, he was making very good progress until that point. Probably would have got Karafalidis in a lap or so. Tom though leads the way, Rowan in 2nd, Surface in 3rd, Steph there in 4th. Bit of a lock-up there from Tom actually into the chicane. Gets away with it. Rowan obviously going to chase him down. 90% of ERS he's got to use up. Will he use that all up in one go? You bet he will. Look at the closing speed of Rowan. Shot out of a cannon. Goes flying past him down in towards turn number 1. Rowan is through and he's into the lead of the race. Tom there in 2nd, Surface in 3rd. Normally when they're on a set of hard compounded tyres, they normally sit back. Rowan doesn't. Rowan wants his championship lead. And Rowan takes the lead of the race outright here in Spain. And then, looking at the gap behind, Karafalidis has got 3.1 seconds already bridged to Steph. And that is a big gap, obviously, gaining. You can gain around 5-6 cents per second in DRS around here, so that is why, obviously, the track, the gains have been had. Tom now, though, on the back of Rowan. Going to try and put him under a bit of pressure. The Hassman, Team Shazoo against VSR. Can tune in for the Shazoo Racing Championship, of course, on Tuesday for that. As Tom doesn't want to be doing that in the Shazoo Racing Championship in Spain. Tom, though, getting one wheel into the gravel. Just about got away with it. It was a poor camera angle, to be honest, but you saw him take too much curb on the left-hand side through turn number 9. That is why he's down at the back end, down in 2nd position. Just about got away with that. Luckily, he now comes through the chicane of turns 14 and 15 once again. Jeffrey, by the way, saying in the chat as well regarding the audio quality, as long as it doesn't ruin the racing experience. It does for the drivers, to be honest. It does for the drivers. I've been even doing like online races around here, and it's so off-putting. It really is. So if you do want to spend that £28 less on F122, just say James warned you. James warned you about these glitches that are in the game. Of course, no game is fully functionable. No game is ever going to be 100% perfect. But it's been like this for 7 years now. And is it going to improve onto the next game cycle? Who knows? If there's a new game engine, maybe so. Maybe so. But we'll have to wait and see. Rowan leads the way. Tom in second, Surface in third. Steph in fourth. Calfrey is still lost around 0.2 per second. Jerry's had to fast lap the race. He's on a sort of medium compound tyre there right down the back of the field. Kaya as well. Both Aston Martins. One AlphaTauri, one Aston Martin. Both struggling. Both, though, part of the Talent Factory team. And Tom, still on the back of Rowan, I should say, for second. Where did I get Ron from? I don't know. Rowan leads the way. Tom in second, Surface in third, and Steph there in fourth. And nothing really happening further down the field. Jake Marsh and Krypton are looking quite interesting. Frankie all over the back of these guys as well. Asicom, Jensen, Aquila. Kai, by the way, did come in the pit lane from that set of soft compound tyres, put on a set of hards, and he is currently there in 18th position. Mercedes, though, I think they're going to chop and change in towards turn 1. As all the McLarens up the field, Darius Looney's into 5th, Cowley is down to 6th, and Krypton changes with Jake Marsh down in towards turn number 1. So the Mercedes change, 12th and 13th position, pretty accurate in terms of how they've been doing in real life, to be honest, the Mercedes. Don't want to try and cause any rift between the Mercedes fans that we've got there in the chat. But, yeah, Krypton 30th into 12th. Mr. Consistent himself, he has been scoring good points in recent weeks in WOR. Jake Bosch there in 13th. Frankie there in 14th. Bit of a shock, actually, to see Frankie so far down the field. He has got pace around this track, the Talent Factory man. And he'll look to try and get the move done, obviously, on Jake Bosch sooner rather than later. Tim and Kauflidis are looking quite interesting as well up the field. We'll go to that battle just now. Frankie, though, still on the back of Jake Marsh. And in turn, Jake Marsh ran further wide than Frankie there. And Frankie picked up a 3-second penalty. Again, track limits on this game, something to behold sometimes. Rowan leads the way from Tom there in second. Surface there in third. Tom might just have to use up a bit of ERS this time around. 90% of ERS now to burn, and just draws in a little bit closer. Obviously, he'll have the speed down in towards turn number 1. Obviously not going to get the job done though. They'll turn off the camera angle, turn off the timing tower, because that is a beautiful helicopter cam, in towards turn number 1, and that is Tim going through on the helicopter cam. Up into 6th position he goes. So Tim making good progress through the field. LFR man, I believe it's his debut here tonight, the Aston Martin. Certainly doing a good job on his debut. He's through and he's into 6th position. He's in a big old DRS train, leading from Darrell all the way down to Krypton, I would say, and then you've got a gap between Krypton and Jensen, who I think has just made a mistake coming through turn number 4. Just lost 0.3 of a second there, Jensen. Really not liking this add-on track tonight here in Spain. ECC Reset there in the chat as well. He has been signed to an org for Rocket League. Very good news for Reset. Hope you're doing well there in the comment section. Congratulations on that organisation role for Rocket League. Not sure where that might be. Not sure if that's actually for Rocket League in general or for WOR. Regardless though, well done, and hopefully it might be the kickstart that Reset does need. Maybe he needs a reset in terms of his career. That pun comes courtesy of me. Rowan leads the way, Tom in second, Surface in third, Steph in fourth. You can tell I'm back in the commentary box. Dara there in 5th, Tim there in 6th, Kauflidis in 7th, and now we're going to see a battle perhaps for 8th position because of Rocker getting closed down by Lars Kramer. Knowing Lars, he likes to throw these dive bombs down the inside line. He's not going to do it that time around. Asicom in the meantime on the back of Frankie, tries to get the job done until turn 1, forced off track there completely. Frankie on Asicom, and Asicom rejoins behind him. And Frankie there lets him back through and gets as good as he's given there, to be honest. That was cheeky from Asicom. Really did not like that. And now Jensen's through, and Ferrari's now 14th and 15th as a result. Sometimes I don't really get how the drivers take things, to be honest. But still, as Lars Kramer's gone off the curb through turn number 5. But yeah, Asicum in 13th, Jensen now in 14th, Frankie in 15th. That was hilarious, to be honest. Oh, as Frankie goes smashing off the track on the left-hand side of the camera shot. There he is, just coming back on track. And Frankie there down in 17th. Goodness me. And he's going to spin again, coming through turn number 9. He takes the escape road. The best thing to do, avoid spinning, takes up a 3-second penalty for his pains. I have a feeling Frankie's going to be coming back in the pit lane. Ah, dearie me. Reset saying he's too young to participate in Rocket League. And yeah, I think they've got to age them at, is it 16? I don't really play Rocket League, to be honest. But Steph on the back of Dara, maybe these guys do. Steph and Masters down and towards turn number 1 on Dara. Looney's into 4th and Frankie's gone around again. And it's called the VSC. VSC deployed out on track. No front wing for Frankie. He's gone through the right-hand turn number 13, smashing into the wall. And that's why we've got a VSC out on track. So that means Frankie comes out on track in 17th position and retires straight coming in the pit lane. To be honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not entirely surprised. Obviously, there's points available for the top 10. Lewis Rock saying in the chat, interesting comment about Lars Kramer. Literally 0 IQ. He had 100 IQ, to be honest, for not going for that move further a couple of laps ago. But yeah, Lars is what we like to say in the community, a bit of a hothead. Can I say that on stream? I think I can. But yeah, Lars has had a history, let's just say, of driving in the past, which I'm hoping he will realise and turn sense, and obviously realise that as he goes forward, because you're not going to get anywhere if you're over aggressive towards other drivers out on track. If you do want to obviously go for esports challenges, go for the Pro Exhibition Series and all of the likes of F1 esports, you do want to be the best example of yourself that you can be. And obviously, if you're not like that at this moment in time, get with the program, because potentially there's going to be a few things. Oh, there's drive-through penalties pop for Rocker and Line Violet. Drive-through penalties, and I think the Rocker's just spun as well. Oh, they've been involved in a collision. Line Violet into the pit lane, involved in a collision, left side end plate damage on the car. Asicum caught up in that, I think, as well, with Jake Marsh. What on earth happened there under the safety car restart? I do not know. The VSC restart, I should say. As the Rocker's in the pit lane, and we have movements further down the field, because Dara is up and he's into... Sorry, Tim's through and he's into 5th. Dara's down into 6th. Mad restart for the VSCs. Rowan leads the way and he's already gapped Tom for 2nd. Very good start by Rowan. From Tom there in 2nd. Surface there in 3rd. Steph there in 4th. He must have made a mistake because he was up in 3rd, I think, at one point. Steph. But yeah, he's currently there in 4th. Tim there in 5th. Dara in 6th. Cavalides there in 7th. More position changes, and that is Jensen. Now into 9th position. Jensen doing a good job. Krypton's also got damage on the car, I think, on the right... Is it left side or right side end plate damage? Regardless, he's been involved in that collision as well with Jake Marsh and Asicum. And speaking of Asicum, he's just spun coming out of turn number 4. Lars coming down the inside line. Should have got to get the job done on Krypton. Yeah, Krypton has got damage. You can tell, as we ride on board with him now, yeah, left side end plate damage completely missing off the car. And that's why he's got damage, and that's why he's struggling. Lars coming now to 10th position. Doing a good job. Jensen, by the way, recovering very well. Obviously, things have gone his way so far in this race in terms of spins. And he's there in 9th position, trying to obviously capture some of the points that are obviously going astray from other drivers. Roman leads the way, though. Tom in 2nd, Surface there in 3rd, Steph in 4th, Tim there in 5th. Trippin, by the way, in the pit lane for some soft banner tyres. Of course, he'll be going mediums towards the end of this race. Got to start on to lap 12 of 33, so pretty much 1/3 distance now here in Spain. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If you are, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. And if you're not brand new to the channel, then welcome back, and obviously keep me company as we go through tonight's racing here in WOR in Spain. As Asicum retires, coming in the pit lane. Ryan Violet also back in the pit lane, so he's obviously been put up in another instant. Oh, he's maybe 7 his drive-through, actually. Yeah, Ryan Violet will be 7 his drive-through. Rocker already did serve his drive-through. He's down there in 12th position ahead of Kaya, currently in 13th. Closest battle is this battle for 4th. Steph, Tim, Dara, and maybe Carefully is getting in there as well. He's dropped off slightly in terms of the pace, the Greek man. Miltos, of course, to the FER guys. Tim on the run down in towards turn number 1 on the back of Steph. He's obviously not going to be close enough this far back in towards turn number 1. But he suddenly got good pace down the straights. The Aston Martin team, of course, looking for one of their first points of the season. They're well down in the constructor standings at this stage, the Aston Martin team. Kaya currently in 13th as well for the Aston Martin, so not doing a bad job at all. And I'll run through the constructor standings quickly. Aston Martin are, in fact, second in the championship. What am I on about? 101 points. It's AlphaTauri that I think I'm trying to mean. They're well down at the back of the field at this point in the constructor standings. Tim, though, wants to try and get Aston Martin back on track. Of course, these are reserve drivers, I think, filling in tonight for Aston Martin. So therefore, I don't think they're obliged to pick up any points, unfortunately, which is a shame. But that is how the rules and regs go, ladies and gentlemen. Rowan leads the way, Tom in second. Tom has dropped off an absolute ton in terms of this pace. And Rowan now has set alight. 2.1 seconds the gap. And Tom, honestly, is going to have to try and climb Everest if he wants to try and win this race on that. Again, this battle for 5th and 4th, or 4th and 5th, Steph and Tim on the run down in towards turn 1. Again, Tim looking quite good in towards turn number 1. But again, not quite close enough. Lars Kramer passing Jensen on the run down the straight in towards turn number 1 as well. They're through, respectively, into 9th and 10th. 9th and 10th position, respectively, as I go mid-yawn there in commentary. Goodness me, this race is not boring, by the way. It is just because I'm still a little bit tired from recovering from COVID. But yeah, Rowan leading the way, Tom there in 2nd, Surface there in 3rd. And Snipe saying in the chat, Tom Oldmill's spun, he is struggling. Yeah, I can only assume that he did make a moment, maybe coming through turn 13, 14 complex, is what I'm thinking. That's where he might have spun last lap around. Yeah, 2.2 seconds. I mean, regardless, he's used up a lot of battery as well, and if he thinks he's going to get him close to Rowan, he's got another thing coming, because Rowan is only going to start pulling away from him, and he's saving up more ERS as well. Tom has got to, I think, go early for set of medium compound tires to try and counteract what is happening in front of him in this race. Only other way to try and get back into it. Only other way. Tim, again, on the back of Steph, running down in towards turn 1. Not going to be close enough. Jake Bosch and Rocker is going to be an interesting battle, I think, down in towards turn 1, perhaps. 0.5 per second now coming through the right-hander. Again, very high revs there from Jake Bosch. Probably hear it in the background of my telly coming through. It is violent in terms of the stuff out on track, in terms of the high revs. But Jake Bosch on the back of a Rocker spins, and that is a position done for Jake Bosch. He's through and he's into 12th, and a Rocker Spinellas once again. Second time I've caught him in this race doing that. And now Kaya, right on the back, maybe looking to try and get the job done on a Rocker. He hasn't got any DRS though. A Rocker does. That's why a Rocker's pulling away at the back end of this straight. Coming down in towards turn number 1. So a Rocker down in 13th. FER man, every time I think I seem to commentate on him or seem to run on board with him, he goes for spin. I'll try and avoid him throughout this race if I can. Jensen and Lars Kramer once again are looking quite close. 9th and 10th position out on track. So we now come to the left-hander of turn number 10. Rowan leads the way. Tom in 2nd, Surface in 3rd, Steph in 4th, Tim in 5th, Dara in 6th, Carol for leaders in 7th, Harry in 8th, Lars Kramer in 9th, Jensen in 10th, Aquila there in 11th. They're the only ones not to make a pit stop just yet. Rocker hasn't made a pit stop either. He's down there in 13th. Everyone else has. Jake Marsh, Kaya, Krypton, Jerry, and Lime Violet, respectively, are the 17 drivers still going out on track as Tim once again gets close in towards turn number 1. Not going to be close enough there. And Jensen trying to hunt down Lars Kramer. He's just entitled just sit in behind for now and wait his turn. Kaya on the back of a Rocker, going to be an interesting battle, I think, as well. We're on the leading the way. 1.9 seconds. Tom's now beginning to get back into his rhythm on the left-hand side of your screen there. But he's still on board with this Kaya Rocker battle. In towards turn number 1. Kaya does not turn on the afterburners in terms of opening up that ERS. Best to save a little bit, to be honest, for the Aston Martin. He stays there in 14th. But yeah, we'll go back on board with the leader now, because Tom was closing in slightly on the back of Rowan. He gained 0.2 per second last lap around. And obviously Rowan's doing a really good job there out in front. But he is using a little bit more EOS now than Tom is in behind. And Tom has got around 4 or 5% more. So it's just swinging either side on the EOS line, if you like. Between what they can and can't use. And Rowan, leading the way, uses all that battery, extends to 2.2 seconds. Tom doesn't this time around, down the straight. And that's why the gap is 2.2. But even in the straight line, I think Tom might be quicker. Tom might be quicker down the straight, perhaps. Who knows? Tim, on the back of Steph, running down in towards turn number 1. Again, not looking quite close enough. Jensen on the back of Lars Kramer, dives to the inside line. Season 12 champion through on the WOR man. So as Jensen doing his into 9th and Lars Kramer down into 10th position. Jerry and Krypton are looking quite an interesting battle. Jerry's pretty much up at Krypton's rear end there, coming to the right-hander of turn number 16, now to the right-hander of the final corner. And on the run towards the line, Krypton trying to extend down the straight, but here comes Jerry with that overspeed to perfection, pulls the inside line. Oh, and nearly puts Krypton off track. Now, if that was in PSGL, might be a penalty coming Jerry's way there. Of course, this is not PSGL, this is WOR. Jerry there in 15th, Krypton there in 16th. The remainers, the R. Surface, I think, has made a mistake, perhaps. 3.4 seconds now, the gap behind Tom, and he is another one that is struggling on that set of hard compounder tyres. Medium's normally the tyre to be on around here if you are interested in tyre strategies. As, speaking of which, I think we're going to see the first man onto the set of medium compounder tyres, and that is Steph into pit lane. 4th position. Calculatus also folds him in as well. Not a bad call this actually from the SXT man. He's into pit lane. Alpine man now in. So the medium compounder tyres would go on. 16, 17 laps, pretty much halfway through this race. He thinks he's getting to the end of the race on them. I'd be worried. I'd be really worried. Same with Carafalides. I'd be really worried, but they're coming out in clear air, which is huge. And you can tell already, trying to get a little bit of extra heat into the tyres there, Steph. Obviously not running over the white line as he did that, which obviously would have caused him a little bit of trouble. And maybe give him a penalty to beat there as well. Go back on the board with the leaders for a second. Rowan still holding the gap of 2 seconds, pretty much stagnant in terms of the gap. At this point, 2 seconds the gap between Rowan and Tom. Tom there currently in 2nd, doing a good job. Surface there in 3rd, obviously now dropping off in terms of his pace. I wouldn't be surprised though if Tom decides to come in the pit lane this time around. Stays out from the lap. But I'd be thinking, if I was in Tom's mind right now, I'd be thinking of coming in and reacting, because he's got enough of a gap to realise Rowan, it's basically 2 seconds between the chicane and the start of the pit lane. So Rowan, he's got to be careful. If Tom's hoping basically that he can try and extend his gap out, the Surface Tim, Dara and Harry all in the pit lane. As Jensen continues on, he's up into 3rd. Lars Kramer continues on, he's up into 4th. Respectively as well, and Nikila continues on, he's into 5th as well for the Spaniards, which is, he's doing a good job actually, Akila there in 5th, so trying to go for something a little bit different. Where is Steph going to come out in relation to Tim? There is Tim ahead, coming out of the pit lane, but remember, Steph will have much fresher tyres coming through this part of the circuit. If coming through the right-hand of turn number 3, will take this flat out compared to Tim, and it'd be within DRS range, but I think Tim has got ahead of Steph coming out the pit lane there, which is quite good. We'll go back on board with the leaders because they're still yet to come in the pit lane. If I was Tom though, back to my point with Tom, if I was Tom, I'd be thinking of coming in the pit lane. I'd realise Rowan's beginning to pull away from me. I want to realise, I'd want to try and counteract. If Rowan gets outgunned by Tom on this strategy call, this won't be too bad. This is what I was meaning about. Rowan coming through the final corner and Tom dives in the pit lane. That's exactly what I wanted to see from Tom. He's in the pit lane. Clearly, I'm not his racing engineer tonight. But Tom there in 2nd into the pit lane. And that now means Rowan could be perhaps in big trouble. If he continues on 2 or 3 laps, Tom might be in the lead of this race in 2 or 3 laps' time. But where is Tom going to come out? If he comes out ahead of Surface, he'll be alright, I think. And in fact, he's on the exit of the pit lane now, and in fact, he's ahead of Akila coming out the pit lane, who's still yet to come in. That is perfect for Tom. Coming out the pit lane. Absolutely perfect for him coming out the pit lane. And also perfect perhaps because Steph is down the inside of Tim, down in towards turn number 1. Job done for Steph. The SXC man through on the LF4 man. Through and he's in 7th. Tim there down into 8th position. I wasn't inside of Tim there, to be honest. But he is down the inside of him. That's what I should have said. He's through and he's into 7th. Tim there in 8th position. Hopefully you got the gist of what I was saying and not meaning to turn it into something a little bit out of context there. But there we are. Rowan leads the way. Jensen second. Lars Kramer in third. If you're just tuning in from the Legacy Division, by the way, where have you been? First and foremost. But if you are, welcome along to WOR. PS, we should see Rowan come in the pit lane this lap around. Yep, he dives into the pit lane. No questions about it. He continued on, as I say, another 2 laps or so. Could have been a different story. But Rowan into the pit lane should hold the lead, I think, of the race. And perhaps the lead of the championship by the end of tonight as well. Jensen in second, Lars Kramer in third. Now, what is going to be interesting? These two stay out. Jensen and Lars stay out. Rowan is going to be behind these guys out on track. This is not clear sailing for Rowan now. Coming out pit lane, because there goes Jensen. Passing camera shot. There he is, right-hand side. And Rowan is going to be behind Lars coming out the pit lane. Oh, this is a bit of a disaster for Rowan. I know he's got 2.5 seconds. But look at Tom already. There's a spinner. Not sure who that was. Jake Marsh, I think that was, spinning coming through the chicane. But look at Tom. 1.8 seconds behind. Rowan is going to keep losing time. This is perfect for the Shazoo man. Who, now, in the eyes of Jensen, who would you work with? Would you work with your own teammate, in terms of being in VSR, as a Rock has retired in the pit lane as well? Would you work with your teammate and bring Lars with you? Or would you work in Tom's favour? Because Jensen and Tom go back quite a long way. They were originally in Shazoo, best of friends in the league racing community, and now it all depends, as Jensen now pulls away from Lars Kramer, and Lars actually just gets out the way of Rowan. So, to be fair, he did the right thing there. But now, Lars is going to give Tom a bit of trouble. So this is now interesting. Lars doesn't decide to come in the pit lane. Tom's going to get a double toe down the straight here. He's going to use up this ERS, and I think Lars is actually getting out of the way. Really respectful driving there from Lars. Could have easily got in the way there of Tom. And to be fair, he's nearly alongside him running down the straight, even though he's just let him through. Good stuff there by Lars Kramer. Just gone up a little bit of a notch in terms of respect there from me. Jensen leads the way, Rowan in second, Tom in third, Lars in fourth. Of course, drivers, you guys might be saying in the chat, well, why did he let him through? He could have just fought for the position. He could have, but there is there's a bigger battle, and that is for the race lead between Rowan and Tom, and I think Lars didn't want any part of that. As I say, quite respectful. Normally, some guys might complain to me, you guys might complain in the chat about it. I totally understand if you do, but this now puts it back into what I was saying originally. Is Jensen going to work with Rowan to try and gap Tom out for a second, or is Jensen going to work with Tom? I think it might be the latter here. I think Jensen's holding up Rowan. Jensen is holding up Rowan. These two have had contact, by the way, in Shazoo Racing Championship in the past. So these two go... Oh, and he gets out of the way. Coming in the pit lane. Typical Jensen in the pits. Rowan now leads the way. Tom now in second. But Tom gets up DRS down the straight. He's going to be catching him. But he's not going to be catching him close enough. And the front two who were there, Jensen and Lars, back in the pit lane there as well. Which, to be fair, is fairest play you could think. Pretty much you can count, as Tim, I think, has just got Steph down and towards turn number 1. You can count Surface, Tim, Steph, unless there's a safety car out of this race, to be honest. Third, fourth, and fifth, 4.4 seconds. I don't really see them gaining, to be honest, towards the end. They're going to be struggling compared to the front two. This is all lapping up into, as Jensen has spun, coming out of turn number 3. Out of the pit lane, Jensen spins. Coming out of the pit lane, and now he's side by side with the Keeler, and this is what you don't want to see. A former Tier 2 driver driving down the inside of a Season 12 champion. And this is fight on between Jensen and the Keeler. Keeler's on much fresher tyres. Round the outside he goes, coming through turn number 5. Now in towards the left-hand of turn number 6, in towards Bank Sabadell at 7 and 8. And Jensen has got to try and fend them off. Keeler, though, in front of his home fans, in front of the rampaging Spaniards. Looks to try and get the job done in towards turn number 10. Closing speed is good. Akila now to the outside line of turn number 10. Jensen, the season 12 champion, nearly forced them off track. Akila off the track slightly. Had nowhere else to go. Jensen back around the outside, and this is a really good battle. Tier 2 driver against season 12 champion, and Akila backs off because he wants that DRS. Really good battle. Robin leads the way. Tom in second. Surface in third. Tim in fourth. Steph there in fifth. And now round 2, about to commence perhaps between Akila and Jensen. Closing the speed is there. He's not going to close it off, and Jensen so far has got the job done. But for a lap or so, Akila believed. Akila believed that he could get Jensen, and to be fair, he's still within DRS range, but now, obviously, in terms of air as well. Oh, apologies if we did lose the stream there once again slightly. Just a little bit of gremlins, I think, in the works. Roman though leads the way. Tom in second, Surfs in third, Tim in fourth, Steph in fifth. We were tuning out at that point. I was mentioning about Jensen pulling away from Akila. He's on my treasure ties. He's going to be in a battle with Lars Kramer. If he didn't spin coming out of the pit lane, probably would have been side by side by now with the WOR man as yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. Not sure who that's for. There was a slight spin. And I think it was Akila. Yeah, it was Akila. He's lost 3 seconds. Akila down there in 11th. Obviously, going well out on track still. Jensen sets the fastest lap of the race as predicted. And Kaya has just gone round through the final couple of corners. And comes in the pit lane. That'll be a retirement, I think. If not, this is going to be a set of mediums going on for Kaya, I would think. Set us off compound tyres. Yeah, 5-second penalty. Speed in the pit lane. There's not anything to do, I think, with this race now. And Kaya into the pit lane. Is he going to retire the car? Or is he going on centre medium? Centre mediums goes on for Kaya. Continues on, which is good to see. And Kaya there in 16th. Of course, down in the back of the field, you guys have been in this situation, I'm sure, before. You pretty much at wit's end. You hate the game. You hate your car. You hate pretty much everyone around you. Kaya is in that frame of mind at this point. But he still continues on, and I rate that, to be honest. I rate drivers that do that. Continue on in the face of adversity and try and pick up points, because, as one Murray Walker once said, anything can happen in Formula 1, and probably just might. Rowan leads the way from Tom in second, Surface there in third. Steph again on the back of Tim, running down in towards turn number 1. Not quite close enough. This has now started to drag out a little bit, the Spanish Grand Prix. We need a safety car, I think, to really spice things up once again. Battle for the lead is going to be quite spicy. Battle for fourth is going to be quite spicy. Other than that, we haven't really got much going on. Harry on the back of Dower, perhaps. Jerry coming in the pit lane is probably as much excitement as I think we've had in the last 5 minutes of this race or so. Yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the stream. 23 viewers, by the way. It's normally average, I think, for PSF1. So, big thumbs up to everyone that is tuning in for tonight. As my voice is still not 100%, and I'm giving my all here in this commentary, there will be no interviews tonight. They will probably return next week. If either Aiden or Logan's going to be here alongside me next week, they will return next week so you can hear from your favourite drivers in PSF1. Rowan leads the way, though, from Tom there in second. Surface there currently in third. He's done a good job, I think, Surface, to obviously try and stick in there with the front two. Obviously, at this point, though, it is all going Rowan and Tom's way in terms of this race. And with 7.5 laps to go, it's between these two for the race win. Go back on board with that battle. Another battle that is developing is Dower and Harry. Dower, of course, the Irishman in 7th. Harry there in 8th, the FER man, who has been, let's just say, in a bit of face of adversity recently with the Shazoo Racing Championship stewards. If you haven't been keeping up with the Shazoo Racing Championship, pretty much top 10 teams on the PlayStation platform going up against each other on a Tuesday night, live on Twitch if you do want to tune in. I'm only saying that and only advertising that because I commentate on that as well. So if you do want to hear more of me, you can do that certainly. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That is Krypton, I think, that has spun coming through turn number 1. He gets the car back going again through Sector through turn number 3. But yeah, Harry has been in the bad books, let's put it that way, with the Chassis Racing Championship stewards in the past. I got told a bit of news, actually, about the SRC, about Chassis Racing Championship, which I will not disclose on this stream, because it is private. But, yeah, you can probably guess what is going to come in terms of that at this moment in time. But Rowan leads the way, Tom in second, Surf in third, Tim in fourth, Steph there in fifth, Harry on the back of Darren. Darren must have made a huge mistake coming out of the chicane, because here comes Harry down in towards turn number one, and the Red Bull doesn't go down the inside. Weird. Very strange. He just wants to stay in there, I think. And obviously just maybe put Darren under a little bit more pressure, the FER man. I think Darren was a former FER member. He might be still current, I'm not sure. Certainly former FER member. I can remember seeing him in FER. Former TTG member as well, Darren Smith, down there in 7th. Harry there in 8th. Miles Kramer currently in 9th position. Battle for the lead heating up. Tom now within 6/10 of a second on the back of Rowan. Corner there in the chat saying, shut up and count your calories. Don't know where that's coming from. I counter my calories and I'm probably a little bit overweight, to be honest. But there we are. Jensen picks up a 3-second penalty. He's currently in 10th position, still picking up a point, which is good. Rowan, though, leading the way from Tom in second. Surface there in third. 8/10 of a second, the gap running down and towards turn number one. And Rowan now, all of a sudden, looks like he could be under a little bit of pressure. Because Tom, through this first sector, is not that quick. Through the middle and the final sector, though, Tom is good. And he catches 2/10 of a second around every single time. I think Rowan wants to try and end it here, though. 8/10 of a second. Gap is increasing. And at 8/10 of a second, it's not too bad. Rowan obviously holding the lead, Tom there in second. But Tom has got more ERS, 32% compared to 5%. 27% I make that. More ERS that Tom has got to use up. Ideally, I think he needs about 20% more on top of that. I think he needs around 50% of ERS to get the straight line speed and then get the job done in towards turn number one, because that is where he is going to be obviously counting that in terms of his performance. But it's been a really good race. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Kyra's round through the final corner. Has he crashed into the wall, maybe? No, he hasn't. I think he's got back going. It's just a pure spin on the car. Yeah, no end plate damage, certainly visibly on us. Misses the pit lane. He's still going to continue on, which is good to see. And he missed the pit lane as well, so if he did want to retire, he can't. Steph on the back of Tim once again. This has been a really good battle between these two as well. And Steph has done very good in this race. He spun a little bit earlier on. 3/10 per second. And Dara spun at the final corner as well. So Dara spins at the final corner. Irishman round. Promotes Harry and Lars 7th and 8th respectively. Promotes Jensen into 9th as well. And Dara still can't get that car in the straight line. Now he gets it going in the straight line. And he comes right across on Aquila. I don't think he was aware it was coming towards him. But Aquila there in 10th, Dara there in 11th. Dara now trying to run off the grass and the gravel that he's probably picked up there after the spin. He's got more gravel and grass on his tyres. He makes a mistake coming out of turn number 2, and that's why that yellow flag is out in the first sector 4. Back on board with that battle for Steph and Tim, 4th and 5th position. It's been a really good battle. Steph could have potentially finished 3rd in this race if he didn't spin. He got cost, I think, 3 seconds as a result, and 3 seconds would have put him in DRS range of Surface, who in turn is struggling in this race. Surface not normally a one to struggle, the former LR man, but doing a good job still. There's another yellow flag in sector 1, and that I think is Kai around again? Or is it Jerry? It's Jerry that is round. Apologies. Jerry is round, coming through turn number 3. But yeah, Steph could have potentially picked up a podium, I think, here tonight. Certainly would have deserved one. Certainly recovered well, I think, in this race. Whether or not, though, that drive of the day by the in-game fans goes to him remains to be seen. Kaya, by the way, who gained 13, 14 positions off the start, he spun right down the backfield. Never really looked forward since, I think, from that point. Always in a little bit of a rut. It's fair to say Dara's left the session down there in 11th. He's got nobody around him. But you never know. Somebody crashes in front of him. He just lost a point. he would have just lost the point there. But you know, he can't have it your own way. I'm not these guys' parents or whatever. Of course, they can decide for themselves. I think Rowan's going to get a little bit of cheeky DRS here from an AI car of Kaya. I think he is. He will. Rowan will get DRS off Kaya. Coming through the final corner, Kaya's got no obligation to get out of the way, even though he's ghosted. He has no obligation to get out of the way. And running down the straight, Kaya does get out of the way, which is very good. That's what we like to see. Really respectful driving out on track. And he lets through on Tom as well. That's what we like to see. Battle for the lead still continues on. The chances now of a safety car have become very limited indeed. With 3 laps to go here in Spain, the final 13 or so kilometres to go. Rowan leads the way from Tom there in second. Surface there in third. It is between these two for the race lead, and we'll give you this battle all the way to the checkered flag right from this point. Of course, Steph and Tim will probably get going in behind there. The only other battle out on track. But you guys want to see the best of the action. You guys want to see this lead battle. Rowan leading the way, 14% of ERS. Tom, makes a mistake coming out of turn number 6. Got very sideways there. Coming out of turn number 6, just unsettling the car slightly. That's a new camera angle, by the way. Just put out a new camera angle as we go through there. Turn number 9. And through the left-hand of turn number 10. Tom is on one, on the back of Rowan. The Shazoo man against the VSR man. This is coming down to an absolute crescendo here in Spain. Will Rowan keep this championship lead or get this championship lead? The gap coming into tonight, I think, was around 10 points. I think Rowan was on 111, Maya was on 101, and Tom now, going down the straight, he's going to go for the move. Tom is going to absolutely sail to the inside line, or is he going to go for the move? Down the inside line and towards turn number 1, Tom and Rowan side by side, onto lap 32, penultimate lap of the race. Tom tries to outgun Rowan. If I was him, I'd sit behind for now. Rowan leads the way. Tom in second, and Tom comes back at him, coming in towards turn number 4. Pulls the inside line, dummies him. Nearly doing the Hamilton and Rosberg in 2014. 2016, I should say. But Rowan leads the way. Tom in second. Surface there in third. Tim in fourth. Steph in fifth. Battle for the lead has just got a hell of a lot spicier. Now coming through the left-hander of 7 and 8 once again. And then in towards the right-hander of turn number 9. This flat-out right-hander of turn number 9. Tom is pressurising Rowan. He wants this. I don't think he wants to try and go too early, though. If I was in Tom's shoes, I'd be saving up ERS. Rowan's now got more. He's got 3% more, and that's enough to try and defend off Tom. Unless Tom is so quick down the straights, Rowan may just have the advantage now. Coming through the right-hander of 13. Then through the left-hander of 14, 15. And then towards the right-hander of turn 16. We'll turn off the timing tower, because this is going to get desperate for both of them. Rowan leads the way. Tom there in second. Tom and the DRS has got about 20 mile an hour extra down the straight. Not closing up in terms of that ERS. And Rowan had that advantage. Tom's going to have to send a late one in towards turn number 1. Rowan cuts off to defend. And Rowan holds the lead of the race. There are more opportunities though as this lap goes on. Tom has got turn 9. Maybe as well in towards this part of the section in towards turn 4. But he's not quite close enough in towards turn number 4. Rowan leads the way, still trying to hound Tom, and it's around 0.5 of a second the gap now. 0.3 of a second, in fact, the gap. As they lead the way, Tim and Steph, by the way, still 4th and 5th position in terms of that battle. We'll try and cut to that if we can later on, but Rowan leading the way. He's mastering Tom at this stage, but Tom yet comes back at him, coming through turn number 9. And again, the DRS just working out in Rowan's favour. That more ERS, that 3% more ERS has really helped him in this final stage of the race. Tom, though, is going to have to look to try and get desperate if he wants this race win. Now into the final kilometre of the race. Rowan leads the way in through turn 13 for the final time. It has been a really good battle between these both. Tom went for it a little bit too early, and that is what's cost him as he absolutely cuts the curve through turn 15. Rowan now on the run to the line is a winner once again in Spain. 0.2 of a second, and that could have been a lot different if there was another 400 metres or so in that race. Rowan wins from Tom there in second. Great battle to the checkered flag. Surface there in third. Tim in the end fends off Steph in a really good battle for 4th. In the end, the German finishes in 4th. Steph there in 5th. Tavlidis there in 6th. Harry there in 7th. Lars Kramer in the end is in 8th. And Aquila is now 9th because Jensen has just had a moment coming through turn 13. So Aquila ran through the final corner on the run to the line. Again, consistent points for Aquila, finishing in 9th. Jensen does pick up a point. I think, given all intents and purposes, from how that lap 1 started, I'd be happy with that. Line Violet through on Jerry as well. He's doing his into 13th late on. Krypton now around the final couple of corners. He's going to finish there in 11th position. And Dara there in 12th. Line Violet will be in 13th as well. But Krypton to the line on 11th. Dara now around the final corner in AI mode, so he will not pick up obviously any points. He finishes there in 12th. Line Violet there in 13th. He got caught up in a very, very stark collision between Asacom, between the likes of Jake Welsh. This is why they're all pretty much right down the back end of the field. He finished there with 15 drivers, because I think Kai indeed left the session right at the end of that race. Jake Welsh in the end finishing in 15. 16 finishes, I think, in the end. Driver of the day awarded by the in-game fans. Not sure if that's a popular vote or not. Lars Craver picks up Driver of the Day, awarded by the in-game fans. But I'm sure you'll agree with me, your Driver of the Day and my Driver of the Day is this man here. It's the top step of the podium. And we'll see him eventually to the top step of the podium. There he is. It is VSL Rowan. Takes the championship lead back off Nemaya for the first time in 3 races. Rowan is back, and for the first time in 5 races, he is a race winner once again. And the VSL man had to hold off a lot of pressure in the end from Tom there in second. It was a great fight from Tom to finish there in second. Another lap, it might have just well been a little bit different. That's why there's 33 laps and not 34 around here in Spain. But Rowan takes the race win. Tom there in second, and a great podium from the surface there as well. I think on his second race here in WOR. He finishes there in 3rd. The Greek man will be very happy with his points haul tonight. But it is Rowan in the end. Top 2 dominated affairs throughout that race. Rowan and Tom just in a different league. Maybe Formula 1, the rest Formula 1.5. But Rowan takes the win from Tom there in second. In the end, 0.2 of a second. And do you know what? Tom was probably gaining on him as well through the final corner. Another lap. That probably would have been a little bit different if that start-finish rate was 300 metres. A little bit of the stop-finish line was about 300 metres down the straight. I think Tom would have got him. Surface there in 3rd. Tim there in 4th. Steph in 5th. Cowford is there in 6th. Harry in 7th. Lars Kramer in 8th. Aquila, the German, picking up in 9th. Jensen there around off the top 10. Tim, by the way, is Dutch and not German, as I said a little bit earlier on. Krypton, Dara, Jerry, Line Violet, and Jake Marsh are the 15 finishers. Kaya was a lap down. That's why he finished a little bit early ahead of everyone. Araka, Asacom, and there was another driver at the bottom end of the field, and that has totally escaped my mind. There were 3 DNFs there in the end. Kane saying there in the chat, I just sub. Thank you very much for your subscription, Kane. Hope you're doing well on this fine Friday night. There's no more action to come if you are wanting to tune out at this point. We'll run you through, though, what you can expect next week. And, of course, normally, a traditional season finale track, we go sprint racing and feature race, of course, in Abu Dhabi next week. So Abu Dhabi is going to be quite interesting. Whether or not we get to see the likes of the action that we saw in Spain remains to be seen. It was a little bit of a ball fest, to be honest, throughout that second half of the race. But it's Spain. Rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane. Maybe we'll kind of expect a little bit of rain there as well. Rounding off the rest of the season as well, we've got 6 more rounds, excluding the sprint race, of course, next week. So there's technically 7. Abu Dhabi, round 10. Then Singapore, round 11. Whoever put that on the calendar, you're going to get fired from my lawyer straight away. Japan there in for round 12. Then Mexico, round 13, on a break week after that. And then Brazil and Saudi Arabia to end off the season. Right at the bottom end of the season there for round number 15. Of course, where we crown Jensen the season 12 champion. If we gets crowned season 13 champion, you just have to wait and tune in to wait and see. But currently, it is Advantage Rowan in terms of the championship battle. That is the end of tonight's live stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick the notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the stream. Evan Dalton, my PSGL F2 co-commentator there in the chat as well. Liking, I think, that I'm back in the commentary box once again. And honestly, I've really enjoyed it. I was surprised, actually, at how good my voice was. So maybe I've just led to believe a little bit in terms of my voice. But yeah, I'm back. and hopefully we'll be back as good as ever, fully healed. I'm hoping next week. Of course, Noah as well, saying he won Tier 2. Well done, Noah, there for the VIR team, finishing first in Tier 2 as well. But yeah, that rounds off the stream for tonight. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. And, of course, like Kane, you can subscribe to the channel as well. The broadcast is now ending. We will have a final word from our sponsors of Grid Finder. I've been James Head. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.